Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello, hello, hello.
More fireballs, guys.
I'm loving them.
Great balls of fire.
Yay.
Is that what they really are, though? So this one's in Texas, and so you can see it right here. Another one that comes by, goes overhead, and then kind of gives you that big flash. And so they say it exploded. Did it explode, or did we take it to hyperdrive, Captain?
Hyperdrive, Captain.
Is that what your vibe is?
I kind of feel it's a little different than what it appears to be.
And here you can see it turns, pitch black darkness into almost like daylight there. A lot of views in this one. This one was seen all the way down to the Mexican border. Interesting. We've had so many of these. Here's one in Manitoba. As we see another one going by.
They're so beautiful. And fun.
And they always have that flash. And then did they explode? Or did they just go to warp speed?
It's truly hard to say.
And this is in Prague. Of course, we've been basically in a meteorite shower, but does anybody really remember any years that have been like this year?
No, I don't remember any years where there have been this many.
And this is southern India. Boy, that's a pretty one.
That's stunning.
And it's not just fireballs. So this is from Strange Sounds, and this is a video that comes from the Hidden Underbelly 2.0. Very curious, because you see one object, and then there's these other ones that are like trailing it. And it almost makes me feel like they're chasing it, or they're on the same flight path. And this is either a series of them in a tight kind of formation, or some bigger ship.
I was feeling like the bigger one with the bunch of lights is a bigger ship.
I think it's a bigger ship. Now, you said these both have a certain vibe to you.
Yeah, they have both have like a reptilian vibe, but they're not the same species. They're a little bit different.
One species from the other,
Yes.
You're saying. So the species in one ship, they're both kind of reptilian-ish, but one's a different type of reptilian. Can you be more specific? Do you feel like one is Draco and one is not? Do you feel like one is perhaps the MIC?
It just feels like they work together, but they're a different species. Like if you didn't have a trained eye or didn't have trained abilities to know what these species are, they do work together, but they're different.
You were making some interesting comments today when we were talking, and here you can see they come in like a straight line, and then there's one more there. Where you were talking about Enki and Enlil, do they look kind of like that type of human hybrid reptilian?
I do see them similar to that, but smaller, not as big.
Oh, okay. So interesting. This is definitely interesting. Very curious. I'll have all the links for you guys, of course. And then this one I was going to dismiss, but then you said no, this actually feels fairly legit.
That one does feel real to me. I mean, I'm looking at it, I can't really see what's in it, but it does feel real.
But you also said this also, again, feels kind of more reptilianish.
Feeling, yeah. The big thing is the feeling.
So perhaps we could say that the powers that be are starting to show themselves a little bit.
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, getting us ready for this disclosure. And how about this? We are not alone. Mysterious object found in Utah during a sheep count. So is this just somebody's prank? Somebody just stuck this out there in the middle of nowhere, a little monolith, reminiscent of, maybe Stanley Kubrick's 2001? Or was this left over maybe from one of the previous civilizations, I wonder, that have been destroyed?
I really am not getting a reading on that one. I'd have to be there. I feel like I need to be there and like feel it, touch it to see if it's, is it thin? Is it thick? What is it? Yeah.
So the Utah Highway Patrol posted a photo on social media Friday showing a curious metallic-looking object found during a count of bighorn sheep somewhere in the state. According to the post, the item was found buried in the middle of nowhere. And so they were asking the public, what do you think it is? One lady suggested it fell off a UFO. We've been seeing them in Ogden lately. Everybody's been seeing a lot of stuff lately. And we've been in a lot of different areas where we saw stuff that was very anomalous and really looked like, like out there in the middle of the desert, there's stuff that looks like concrete. Did we ever show them those circular pylon things?
No, but we need to.
Oh, I got to dig those photos up. So this was when we were in Nevada, close, well, not too far from Vegas, but in the middle of nowhere, right? And there's these circular impressions in the rock that really look like there was something manufactured that was very, very heavy, just wearing down into the rock over time, and it would have to have been some sort of metal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it did look exactly like you explained.
Very weird. I will dig it up. We have a lot of photos we got to share with you guys still. This is curious. Interesting cloud anomaly in Costa Rica. Very interesting. We saw something like this not too long ago in Arizona. And we see extremely dangerous tropical cyclone Gati. Another one making rapid intensification. This was a historic one. It was basically equivalent to a Cat 3. And this was in Somalia. The thing is, this is not an area that usually gets this strong of storms. So the question is, why are we seeing this over and over again? Why are we seeing a lot of times the same places being hit almost one after another?
Yeah.
Of course, we're very suspicious of weather wars. We know the technology is out there. No doubt. It's out there. And of course, all this is affecting the food situation. And again, there's so much going on right now. There's an obvious consolidation of power going on globally. And as I said that, I wouldn't doubt if the sound got all wonky thanks to a you-know-what eye. And, this is what this is saying. Why are we seeing all these storms go to extremes? Is it just simply cosmic rays, grand solar minimum? Or is it augmentation? Maybe some of both.
I think it's some of both for sure.
I agree. I think it is both things going on. And so this is big, and no gas jokes, guys. Giant bubbling methane craters and super seeps may trigger the next big Arctic blast. At least we're not talking about planets.
Right.
But, they found a whole bunch of these. They keep locating, and this is mostly up in Siberia that they've seen them, but they also have found some over in, like Alaska and Canada. There's a lot of mega seeps going on. They found 6 mega seeps below the Laptev and East Siberian seas, over 1,000 meters in linear dimension. 1,000 large seep fields. So this is all methane. Methane, it changes the atmosphere much quicker than carbon emissions. And this is what we were asking the guides today and trying to get from them, what are we going to see in our lifetime mostly? Are we going to see the rapid cooling that's going to portend the next ice age? Because we have these, incredible swings. We have record highs and record lows. Now, traditionally, when you look at it all through the course of time, an ice age is always preceded by global warming on a very, very fast scale, record. And then we get the ice age. It's like an illness, and you have a fever to break it. It's like Mother Earth is running a fever, and then boom, she breaks it. And so are we going to go into the big chill in our lifetimes? I mean, I'm 55, so, another, 20 to 40 years, are we going to see, that ice age that Valentina has talked about, other scientists have talked about, and of course our good friends over at DAP 2030 and Ice Age Farmer and others. Or are we going to just still see these rapid swings and just dramatic differences?
What I'm seeing is we are going to continue to see that pendulum swing like really crazy back and forth. But if things are starting to get swamped and really wet, they're just going to get wetter. If things are in a drought, it's just going to be more drought.
Yeah. So, we were asking this for multiple purposes because, like I asked her about states, and we were talking before about like best states to live in and what do you see? And there's some states that are wonderful and offer great opportunities. If you're seeing flooding, you're going to probably see more flooding. If you're seeing drought, you're probably going to see more drought. So it's, again, you got to weigh everything out. Like the West has had a lot of drought. Yet in so many areas along the coastline, especially in, along the east, more of the eastern side, they've had some more flooding. Of course, Louisiana got hit by storm after storm after storm. You look at the Philippines and look at Thailand and Vietnam, inundated, absolutely inundated. I don't know what these people are going to do if we're going to have a decade or more, multiple decades of increasing storms like that. People are going to just get flooded out of areas.
I know, it was very depressing. Some areas I just saw where your feet are like literally sinking, and there's probably a few inches of water no matter where you looked.
The other thing that you have gotten is that there's going to be a lot of mass migrations of people on a huge scale. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that. And I also, last night I was getting visions of soldiers as well. So I just was getting flashes, and I'm not sure where they were. It looked very tropical. Lots of soldiers, though. Seemed like they were being sneaky.
Yeah, they were.
So, this is something, again. We've seen these sinkholes that are enormous from them exploding outwards. And here we see scientists say the fields of methane discharge have all increased in size. This is big. This is really big because this, again, can just, move everything up a whole nother notch. Just like if we get a VE7 eruption, because that's going to make things so cold so quick in, the area that it erupts in for sure. And those in that scale, can affect a good half of the globe. Now, one thing that's also interesting is we're most definitely seeing an uptick in solar activity. We're not hitting up in the, a KP index of a 9 or an 8 or anything. But everything, again, when the magnetosphere is in the decline, everything gets amplified. So here we did see that we hit a KP index of F5. So things are changing. The sun is waking up a little bit, and who knows what tomorrow will bring.
Oh, we're evolving.
Well, that is definitely the case. So we have a shallow 6.1 earthquake that hits near the coast of Mole in Chile. And this one was at a depth of 25 miles according to USGS. And no tsunami threat, but you do see all the aftershocks coming on in. And again, this is the Ring of Fire, so we will see those things. And we see Northwest Territories to suffer colder than average winter. Warns Environment and Climate Change Canada. Keep in mind, too, again, that we have La Nina going. So this is one of those things that hits people in different ways. And La Nina is going to hit the American Southwest, which has been suffering from drought, and give it more drought. So, this area up here is going to have a colder than average winter, but we were looking at the forecast for most of the East Coast and the Northeast, and it's going to probably be above average as far as the temperatures.
I know, it's just insane.
That's what we got. A lot of insanity.
Yes.
And you remember we were talking about this strange new illness. More than 500 Senegalese fishermen contracted this skin illness. Well, they got some photos, and it doesn't look pleasant at all.
No, it doesn't. To me, I'm still feeling chemical.
So, yeah, this looks absolutely miserable. They're suffering from lesions on their faces, extremities, and for some on their genitals. Some also have headaches and slightly elevated temperatures. Look at that.
Wow.
You know, I could see the chemical because look at the blisters.
Yes.
I think that you are getting the right info on this, but I think that you're usually right.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my experience, that does look like a chemical burn to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't be from the sun. Not if it's on their genitals, unless they're going around sailing their boats with no clothes on.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
I don't think it's likely either. It's weird. Very, very weird. But we have a lot of strange melodies on the planet right now. And there's always things over our heads coming on down in the clouds that we don't know exactly what they are.
I know, and you and I both have been having little kind of irritating issues, with sinuses and a little cough, and since this has been over our heads.
Yeah, it's only been since it seems like they've incessantly been laying it on thick above us. And a lot of people that we've been talking to have been having like low-grade headaches as well. So, again, and, I try to be careful on this channel because, if we got demonized, then it would pretty much be over for our ability to do what we're doing, as they, had done that to the first channel. But, there have been 239 admitted cases of experimentation on citizens of this particular country, admitted, with, bacteria, viruses, things along those lines. So, who knows?
Right. They have no problems testing on us.
Nope. And thank you guys so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. Stay prepared as always. Keep positive. And, I know sometimes we'll get people that say, why do you just focus on the doom and gloom? But people want to know what's going on in the world. There are some people that just want to stick their head in that ostrich hole and just sing to themselves, la 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 la, I can't hear you.
You got to know what's going on.
Yeah, and meanwhile the truck goes and drives over you.
Right, exactly. We're trying to help people, kind of create their day.
Exactly. So, as always, guys, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.